Stars, I'm a fool for your love.
Welcome back to Class on Grass Podcast, Season 2, Episode 25.
25. Today, recording on a Saturday due to stuff we had going on, or some of us had going on Sunday.
Yes.
Which means we won't have... Well, I mean, realistically, we have the same amount of information, because usually we don't take into account the Sunday stuff.
I will say North London Derby is tomorrow.
Yes, the North London Derby is tomorrow.
We will miss that. But
Are you going to be watching it?
Of course.
I have game during it.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter, because obviously the
Predictions?
game of my game.
Yes. No.
Predictions of the North London Derby.
Yeah.
Spurs win. Gareth Bale's heating up. I can just see that Spurs team carrying through with, everything that all the momentum that they're gaining. Jose Mourinho seems to be one of the most streaky managers in the world right now. But when he's hot, his team is really on a roll.
I think if Arsenal come with their Europa League form, they could win. Like, they're insane in the Europa League, but
and Aubameyang.
Really just not great.
Do you think it's because they unlock Aubameyang more in the Europa League?
I think it's because they're playing like Hungarian teams. But still, there are many different versions of Arsenal, so I would say Tottenham is the safe pick, but at the same time, you never know.
If you were betting, what would you bet on? Because in my eyes, then, if I was putting a bet on it, well, I would put a bet on Arsenal because the payout would be higher and the chances.
That's true.
Both of them are extreme. I think Tottenham is, like I said, a streaky team. They'll go on like a run of 8 games unbeaten and where they just go crazy. Arsenal are an inconsistent team, so they won't go on runs, but they'll just like win a random game and then lose a game they should have won. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a little off topic. We're gonna start kind of like we started last time, except we're not doing a plug of my my article that I put on the website. But going a follow up of that. Joan do you pronounce it Joan? It's Joan.
Joan
Laporta is the new Barca president. He this is his second time in that position. The last time he was the president, Frank Rijkaard and Pep Guardiola, through those days while they were the managers of the Barca team, had a few Champions Leagues under his belt as the club president, a few Copa del Reyes, La Ligas, Club World Cups. But that's what happens when you are the president of one of the biggest clubs in the world. But again, he did a good job while he was the club president in the past. He was not there. He left the club in 2010, so he wasn't there during the prime MSN era, but he was there during the Messi Ronaldinho era.
Which is, arguably better. But...
Exactly. So he has seen Barca at its finest, and will we see him take Barca back to its finest?
He's probably seen them at their worst at this point now.
Yes.
Coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they've ever been this like inconsistent or just very messy.
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like,
100%.
No pun intended, but...
Yeah, no, a really messy organization, we could say right now. But I know you put in the plan. He is looking forward to giving the Barca B players a little bit more time, which does include our young American Conrad de la Fuente.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that's always very optimistic for any manager or president that comes in is like, oh, I want to include the youth, and then never really does. But, I mean, looking at that Barca B team and looking at the players in the Barca squad now that have come from the academy, I feel like Conrad definitely has a chance. He's gotten a couple looks right at the first team, but nothing too consistent. So I feel like he could earn a place in a very fluid roster right now.
It's interesting. I look at the United States national team pool and the forwards that we have at the moment, and I see 2 players, Matthew Hoppe and Conrad de la Fuente. Conrad de la Fuente is more established, but Matthew Hoppe has really come onto the scene. And I just imagine if you could morph those two together, because Matthew Hoppe's finishing is unbelievable. He is arguably the most composed finisher in front of goal for the U.S. men's national team, considering, and we can't say this like 100% backed up by evidence because he has only been playing for a small period of time, and it's not class yet, it's form.
Yeah.
But I mean, his looks in front of goal have been very positive. And I think that's one area that if Conrad can fix, he will be lethal. He's really good on the ball. He's really good at getting in behind and making good runs. I'd like to see his finishing get a little bit better. And it's not even that his finishing isn't good. It's just that rush of blood that comes in the moment where, especially when you're playing for Barca's first team, not Barca B, you need to stay composed. But if he can figure that out, he could be lethal.
Yeah, he's smaller, right?
Yeah, he's like 5'7".
Would you play him at striker, like you're saying, for the U.S. and play more of a false nine, or would you have someone like Josie Altidore come this like World Cup qualifiers or other tournaments?
It might be an odd shout, but I think it depends on how our youngsters pan out. I think that's a big part of it. Sebastian Soto, Matthew Hoppe are two,
Sargent.
and then Josh Sargent, and then Conrad. None of them are big except for Soto. Soto's a bit bigger, but none of them are really that big or physical. But if none of them get to the quality that the United States needs before the World Cup, I can see Gyasi Zardes being our front runner and Conrad being a substitute out wide.
Would you take? So you think Zardes over Altidore
at this time?
Yeah.
Not 5 years ago.
No, I would agree. Yes. I definitely agree.
I think Zardes is just a little bit more dynamic, and he has that. Altidore is still physical, but he's not got the length of time he can be physical, like the stamina or the pace anymore.
Yeah. And then moving on to the Champions League, Barca exit. It was very small chance that they would come back from the 4-1.
Yeah, La Remontada didn't seem like it was going to be repeated.
For a second after that incredible Messi goal.
Right when PSG got the penalty, I kind of knew that it was gone. It was a bogus penalty, in my opinion.
Oh, it was completely just a wrong
Especially
decision.
when it's 4-1 and Barca's down. You don't give PSG a penalty
Unless
it's something that really like it was really big.
Wasn't deliberate. He was like looking the other way. He stepped on the guy's heel accidentally and he fell over.
But then Messi strikes with a wonderful goal in typical Messi fashion.
The most like swaz as F2.
Yeah, as Jeremy Lynch would say.
Yeah.
Jezza. Little swaz.
Yeah, the amount of knuckle on that ball from like 40 yards out.
Yeah, I'd say like people usually exaggerate how far out, but he was actually 30 yards out, which is a long way.
Extremely far away, and to get top corner and with that knuckle, it starts going like center and then left and right and then left again.
It's almost like a dream. It just doesn't feel like, how does Messi do this every single time? Yeah. 2 years ago, in the Champions League against Liverpool, he had that unbelievable free kick, and it's
from
just
about the same
distance. Yeah. And it was just an incredible scene to just witness that. But I saw an Instagram post after the game, and it said, "How am I supposed to explain to my kids that Messi scored from here but missed from the penalty spot?"
Yep. And then so he missed from the penalty, and then you kind of knew. All right. Yeah.
Once he missed that penalty, the energy of the game kind of died down. Yeah. I actually fell asleep in the 75th minute.
Me as well.
Which is not good looks when you're watching a Champions League Champions League round of 16 game. But yeah, I mean, after he missed that penalty, it was all kind of gone. Mm-hmm. If Ousmane Dembele could finish, it would have been 8-0.
Serginho Dest also hit the crossbar. Yeah. I mean, they had their chances.
I sent you that. Yeah. That edited video where it was like, it took somehow this guy takes all the misses and like he changes where the ball is.
The video so it looks like the ball hit the net and like went in.
Yeah. I was like, I want this guy to do my highlight video. I'd take him any day. Yeah. But yeah, bouncing over to another one of the Champions League games, Forza Porto. As we say over in the Portuguese land.
Yeah.
I have been very optimistic about my Portuguese friends going through, and most people say optimism isn't a bad thing.
It was looking very, very bleak after Chiesa scored a brace after Porto went up.
It was a tense game. I was nervous.
It was a very good game. So yeah, Porto came in 2-1 on aggregate, got their away goal, make it 3-1. Chiesa then scored a brace to make it 3-3.
player of the tie.
Yes, definitely. He had 3 goals, I think. So then it was 3-3, same away goal, same everything. Goes into extra time.
Oliveira!
A free kick from like
30 yards out. But it wasn't a good free kick.
No, it was a very bad free kick, but who's at fault? Ronaldo in the wall.
Yep.
Turns his back, just lifts his leg up. Like, there is no wall.
Yeah.
If you look at the replay, like they all kind of just left the wall, and then Oliveira just on the ground, kind of like a shot pass, just went right into the corner, bottom corner, and
yeah, I mean, even Szczesny got a glove to it, but it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah.
I saw another Instagram post after this game. Instagram was really popping during these Champions League times, but it was a quote from an old Juventus striker who I have no idea who he is, but he said, "You can never put Ronaldo in a wall because he won't be aggressive and want to bite the ball because he cares too much about his image on his face." And I was thinking, do you think this is disrespectful, the truth, or both?
I mean, I feel like everyone doesn't want to actually be in the wall. It's just
I kind of like it. I'm like, you're not going to get it through me.
Whatever. But like, if you're tall, you're going to be in the wall, and no one really likes it unless you're this guy. But like, so I feel like that's unfair to say, oh, it's just because he's Ronaldo and he's self-centered.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so late in extra time, and no one, like, everyone was so tired. It was not the best, kind of like, well, obviously it wasn't the best look because it went straight through the wall, but I feel like to say it was because of his image and everything is a bit much.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's not like a center back who's just like, I mean, center backs, they might not like being in the wall, but it's their job to like throw their body in front
shots.
of the ball and people to not let it go in.
Yeah.
So maybe don't put Ronaldo in the wall. He's tall, like you said, so you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to say that about someone who's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of people after the game, talking about how it was an end of an era, first time since Messi and Ronaldo have gone out of the Champions League since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was just such an overreaction. I mean, Messi is so good that he'd still go through on a team other than Barca that's not falling apart at the moment. And Ronaldo had a bad tie. He didn't do anything in either games, but he's still like the second leading scorer in Serie A.
Well, yeah, I think they're saying that because, like you said, first time since 2004 or 2005 that they both are not in the quarterfinals, and I think they're saying that because like that could happen more frequently now. Like, it's the first time since 2004, 2005. It could happen again, and one of them, I could see, just one of them not making it every year, or two of them not making it every year. And I think that's kind of what they meant, not like, oh, they're retiring. No, like.
Well, I also heard a rumor that Messi would be open to the possibility of staying at Barca with the new president. I don't think that would be a good idea for his career, personally. No. I mean, I know he's promised to the city and the club that he's going to stay there forever, and really the only time that anyone's ever questioned the possibility of that happening has been over the past year and a half. Mm-hmm. But still, I think that he needs to move on, and I think Pep's a great fit for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving past that, we have one more Champions League event that, you just love to see it when people, they don't take it too seriously and they have a little fun with the game, which is weird because the player who did this, I feel like, is a robot about the game and takes everything extremely seriously. Has the Champions League anthem as his alarm, but Erling Haaland took a penalty. Was it saved or missed the first time? I didn't watch this game because I was busy watching the other game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna mess it up, but I believe
it was saved, wasn't it?
It was a penalty, saved the first time.
Yeah, keeper mocks him.
Keeper was off his line. Yeah, mocks him, retaken. Haaland scores, and then Holland mocks him back, and then 3 Sevilla players go sprinting after him. It's valid. I love it. You can't be mad because the goalie did it to him first. So
yeah, and in typical Holland fashion, he doesn't look like some, big guy who's gonna like hurt you or anything. He's in this like weird position where he's doing like a half squat.
He looks like he's gonna hug him.
Yeah, and it's like when you scare a little kid.
Yeah.
But he's like in this really deep squat. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But Holland's got his own ways. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love him as a player personally. I think that the Norwegian Nightmare has a bright future.
Well, I feel like he's gone this summer.
I am nervous for Dortmund if that happens.
I think he is.
Did you see Julian Brandt's goal?
Today?
Yeah. Sancho put it on his story. Well, Sancho put it on his story and said "goat."
Well, yeah.
After the goal.
Did you see the goalie?
Yeah.
He just hit off.
Did you see the angle? So Brandt was about 40 yards out and just had a crack, and it knuckled a lot, and there was a ton of dip, but it went in maybe a half a foot next to the keeper, and the keeper didn't actually move at all. So it was really close to the middle of the goal.
Yeah.
But it's one of those moments where you think you should be able to save it, but I feel like if you're in goal, it's just ridiculously hard to save because it's moving so much in the air.
Yeah, but I feel like you still got to save that if you're a professional goalie.
Yeah.
Okay, now moving on to the Premier League, some news coming out. It was very rumored the past week, but Sheffield United confirmed it today. Chris Wilder has been sacked or left by mutual consent, but I think he had a bit of a run-in with the management and kind of parted ways that way. Do you think that is the right decision or not? I
don't really know if it's the right decision, but whoever fills in for the job is going to be in the championship next season. Yes. So it's not. They should not be looking for a revival season manager. They should be looking for someone long term who's going to help them get out of the championship, or at least not slip farther down, so that they can stay established as a club, keep money flowing in, and then hopefully rebuild. Because they're not going to stay in the Premier League. I mean, I don't think Brighton is, and Brighton's miles past.
Yeah, I think when I heard this, I heard what I thought immediately was back in November when they hadn't won a game or whatever, and it was pretty sure they were going to go down even at that stage. I was like, okay, they either sack him now and get a manager prepare for the championship next season, but have that manager have almost a full year with the team, or they keep him for the championship and see if he can bring him back up because he's promoted them so far and done really well last year with. Yeah. So I feel like if they knew they were going to sack him at some point, why do it later on and just hold him that whole time, instead of bringing in a new guy who can have time with the team and maybe make selections who he's going to sell in the summer, who he's going to keep. He at least knows the team a little more than 10 games left in the season, 8 games.
Yeah.
So,
you said Chris Wilder's been with Sheffield United for 5 years. Mm-hmm. It's unheard of to stay at a club for longer than 5 years as a manager. I mean, your time's coming to an end. No matter how good you are, the fans want something different.
Yeah.
Play styles, it's so weird. You can be winning and people still want a different play style.
Oh, yeah.
We signed Graham Potter and we are doing worse now. Mm-hmm. Worse. But people are like, oh, it's so nice to see the players playing free-flowing football. I'm like, don't you want points?
Yeah, opposite with Claude Puel a couple of years ago. He made us finish 8th and finished in the Carabao Cup final. And we sacked him because he was too boring.
Exactly.
And now...
now you have Ralph.
He is better. But you look at that 8th place finish and you're like, oh, I'd take that.
Yeah, exactly.
Matter how we played, but...
where did you finish when Sadio Mane and Van Dijk, were they together on the team?
We finished 6th or 7th.
And they were on the team together?
Yeah.
Dude, what I would give to see them back at Southampton. Oh, what I would give.
The whole world of football should have everyone...
a week where you go back?
Yeah, everyone's last team that they played for, where they kind of broke out.
Yeah.
You have to go back there.
For a week. It's just 1 week of football.
So Hazard to Chelsea, Van Dijk, Mane back to Southampton.
There's two. If you either were a breakout player and a big team signed you, or you were really good, went somewhere and you flopped, because then it implies that you were really good somewhere before, right? It couldn't be.
Interesting to look.
It can't just be some random transfer where you go back.
Salah to Chelsea.
Or solid Roma. It would have to be. But you can just the fans get to pick. Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be cool. But
it's never gonna happen. No, but it would be so cool.
No. Yeah, but and then I guess going around the lower end of the table, Dwight McNeil with goal of the season.
Goal of the
contender.
freaking season.
I wish we could put it up for you visually, but God.
No, we have a visual camera here. I can't really I was gonna try to
Do we have a board?
Yeah, we need a drawing board.
We should
replace Basuma with it. First off, let's just touch on this. Why is Basuma still?
These are all the same level of players. Yep.
Oh, I was genuinely planning to switch it out immediately. Mm-hmm. I just needed a filler. You know what we should do? We should get a Hassani Dotson jersey to go there.
Yeah.
Genuinely, we should get a Hassani Dotson jersey to go there. Or I was thinking a plaque, but it costs money, and I'm guessing we could get a Dotson jersey for free. Ask
Tyler again.
Yeah, no. But he also, let's just take a moment to recognize a few things. Well, in the middle of the podcast, if you haven't known, Hassani Dotson recognized our podcast, commented on our Instagram, with the 2 praise emojis, and yeah, I mean,
he said he listens every day, every episode.
He said he's a patron.
Yep.
Don't know how we didn't know that.
Yeah.
but yeah, he noticed us, which is pretty good. And then thank you to everyone who has subscribed on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify in the past few weeks, or to our Discord. We love the questions we're getting, and we love all the support. And our Instagram is growing for the first time in a couple weeks again. So,
yeah,
great to see that.
But back to it. His goal was incredible.
It was incredible.
He is, I think, the only player on that team that could do something like that. When you think of Burnley.
Yes, Burnley is extremely efficient and effective at getting the ball, keeping the ball out of their own net and getting into the other team's net, but it does not look good.
No.
But that looked really good.
That goal was... Who did that remind you of?
That reminded me,
kind of Hazard.
Yeah, no, that's what it's, because it's not Messi or Ronaldo.
Yeah, they don't score those type of goals.
Yeah, it's a Hazard,
Salah,
maybe a Salah. You might see that from Salah, maybe Hazard. I think we could see that from Ziyech eventually if he starts to find his place. Those players that just, they're really good at getting around someone and then hitting that curler top left. Ooh, it was so sweet. It was very so sweet. What's the next thing on our list? I can't actually read that.
Can you not read that for me?
Well, I can, but I don't know what it means. Wait. Brighton Southampton
play tomorrow.
Yes, that's what it is.
The Class on Grass Classicer, because we decided
yes, the Dare Classicer. Yeah. Now it's the Class on Grass Classicer.
Yes. So
that's extremely creative.
Any ideas about the match?
I think
nervous or
I'm not that nervous. I can't watch it, I don't think.
I think it's at 7 a.m.
I'm not going to get up for that because I need to get good sleep tonight. But I will watch the highlights. And I feel like I know the final result.
0-0.
It's either going to be 0-0 or 1-0 to Southampton. Or Danny Welbeck's going to have 5 goals. One of the 3.
No in between. 5 goals or nothing.
5 for Danny.
I would not be mad if Danny Welbeck scores 5. Even 2 goals, I'll be like, all right. I'd rather see that than a win for Southampton. But
I mean, Danny Welbeck I think Danny Welbeck is the most fun player to watch on the team because I don't know, something about him just makes me laugh. Not because he's bad, but just because he's I don't know. It's just
he's just a good guy. It seems like you want him to do well.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the 2 Basuma and Lamptey who are just these guys are beasts.
They're
gonna
good,
leave.
Yeah.
They're gonna leave.
I don't think Lamptey will.
God, he's been Bezu's off. You know what's weird? I right when I started liking Brighton, like 4 years ago, I log on to FIFA 17 or whatever it is, and I look at Brighton's roster, and I see this like 51 overall Basuma, but he's a center mid, and I'm like, this is gonna be me someday. So I started liking Basuma. Little did I know he'd become the best player on our team. Mm-hmm. That's scouting at its finest.
I mean, really, you should tell that story to the Brighton transfer team.
Let me just look at who's in the pool in FIFA. I'll give you guys a few more. Yeah. They're gonna come up and do well.
But yeah, that is tomorrow. It happens twice a year.
Huge game. Which stadium is it at?
I think Southampton, because we beat you
at home.
Yeah.
Which is normal.
Yes.
For Brighton. Moving over from the Premier League now to the French League, as we'll be having baguettes tonight. A little French in there.
So do you like that one?
the producer did like that one. And we have a question for the producer later on about not a whole different sport than soccer.
We'll get to it.
We will get to it. But yeah, moving over to France. Marseille were eliminated by a fourth-tier side. You're the pronunciations. Canet Roussillon in the Coupe de France, so the FA Cup of France.
Love to see it.
Yeah, sorry Marseille, but this is what the Coupe de France, the FA Cup,
This is why the whole world watches Coupe de France. It's such a famous term.
No, but this is why you have those tournaments. Genuinely. So I just love to see it. We don't really need to go into it very much. We didn't watch the game. We don't watch the French League. But it's good to see. And
staying in the French League.
What?
We have PSG.
Yeah, well, we do watch PSG, but in the Champions League. Mm-hmm. Moving over to PSG. Mm-hmm. Rumors for Messi and Ronaldo both to go there. I think Ronaldo is a little bit higher of a percentage chance.
Really?
Yeah.
So, like, if you bet on it, you would say Ronaldo. Definitely.
Ronaldo over Messi. But again, I'm a risky man. I'm going Messi because then my return is higher.
So you think Ronaldo, but if money was involved, you would go for the...
Exactly, because then you can get the high return.
I mean, it's just so weird that one team is being rumored with the two GOATs.
Yeah.
At one time. So
but you can't get both. Please, it's not possible. Don't do it.
I don't think they'll even be good if they have both.
That's so true. Imagine Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo, and they still don't win the Champions League.
It's very possible.
That would be that's
if you
actually
have Neymar and Mbappe. And
you should win the Champions League.
Yeah, like you have the best attack.
It's not their attack that's the problem.
Yes, statistically, you have the best attack. Like if you look at the players,
and they're trying to add Haaland as well.
Yeah. I don't know. They have just stupid money, but
yeah,
you had a post about it.
Yeah, I had a post. It was specifically about Cristiano Ronaldo, and it was his odds on going to 5 teams he's been rumored to.
Okay.
Number one, and I'm going to ask you who you're betting on, who you're putting your money on. Kind of like that. Going off the betting stuff. So Ronaldo's potential 2021-22 team. I have to credit this post was from Nonstop Football. So thank you, Nonstop Football, for posting it. Juventus, 8 out of 10. Not really a transfer, but 8 of 10. So if you bet $8, you'd get 10 back from staying at Juve. All of these are lower than 10, which isn't really how odds work, because you're not just always supposed to make money.
No. We aren't really good. We're not, like, knowledgeable about betting.
I'm just going to...
No, I thought if it's, like, 1 to 5, that means it will happen. If it's 1, right? Yeah, because 5,000 to 1 is Leicester. And that was, like, a very low chance. So if you put in $1...
all of these are the other way around.
Yeah, so it's likely.
So I'm just going to say 10 to 8.
Yeah. 10. If you put in $10, you get $8.
Okay, yeah. But, well...
Who knows?
It's pretty much just a fraction out of 10 for all of them.
Yeah.
So it's...
It's a percent.
So 80% chance, but it's not out of 100. So it's not out of 100%. If you added all the percentages up, it would be way over. You guys get what it's saying.
Yeah.
8 out of 10, Juventus. 7 out of 10, PSG. 4.5 or 5 out of 10, Real Madrid. 4.5 out of 10, Chinese team. Just any Chinese team. 3 out of 10, Man United. 2 out of 10, Inter Miami.
Oh, I'd love a Man United. Really.
Yes.
I would love that. Yes. I think he'll stay at Juventus.
Yeah. 2 out of 10 Inter Miami, and 2 out of 10 Sporting CP. You know, I would
He goes
love...
to Miami this early.
Oh, no, I would hate it. But I would love a Sporting Lisbon or a Man United return. That would be peak. That would be so good.
I think if he leaves, I think he will stay only if the board promises to bring in a better attacker.
Yeah, attacker to go with him. Right now he's running the lines with Alvaro Morata.
Yes.
And I'm guessing he's not very pleased about that.
No. So, I mean, yeah, I think if they don't bring anyone in, he's definitely gone. And if he is, like you said, PSG is probably the likely.
PSG, and what was the 5 out of 10? Real Madrid. So, he is really rumored to go back to his teams.
I wouldn't see him going back to Real Madrid, though. I feel like they're trying to move on.
Yeah, they are really trying to move on. But yeah, personally, I would put my money on... If I have an unlimited amount of money, and it's just to where I want him to go, Sporting, because I love the Portuguese teams, and I'm trying to see them do well in the Champions League.
We know this.
I don't even care about the rivalry between Porto, Benfica, and Sporting. I want them all to do well.
Yeah, you're just a fan of all of them.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think actually I would like Sporting instead of Man U, or over Man U.
Yeah, they both would be awesome,
Yeah.
but it would be cool. Moving over, just bouncing around all of Europe, moving over to the Bundesliga, Yusufa Moukoko,
16.
or Moukoko, he was 14 2 years ago, now he's 16. When he was 14...
Good math. Good math. How old was he 3 years ago? 15? Yeah.
No, but when he was 14... he was rated as one of the best prospects in Europe because he had like 90 goals in a 40-game season with the U19s of Dortmund. So he was going off. But he has scored for Dortmund as they press for top 4. As they should. They should be in the top 4.
I don't know how they're still outside it or like pushing for it.
But that's football. And then Kingsley Coman moving over to the other side of the Bundesliga. To Bayern, who currently lead the table, I think. I'm fairly certain.
They have to.
Yes. And I think Leipzig is second. Yeah. But Kingsley Coman, who is one of their, I'd say, Riyad Mahrez's of Man City, he will start in 4 out of 10 of the games, 5 out of 10 of the games, and the rest will come on as a sub, or he'll rarely not play or not be in the squad.
Yeah.
But... he is rumored to go to Chelsea for a swap deal of Christian Pulisic, who is known to do well in the Bundesliga. But I'd like to see him at a Dortmund-type team, not a Bayern, because it's just so hard to get playing time.
Yeah. I said I think a swap deal would happen because they're both rumored to go opposite directions. Yeah. I feel like the smartest thing, they're like pretty much at the same level, I'd say. And I feel like that would work for both teams. But again, like you said, playing time wouldn't really change for Pulisic.
Yeah, he's not getting time right now, but I think people are kind of frustrated about that. I mean, I saw the account USMNT only, pretty much like a fan account of the United States national team, like posted an actual like praise, like, oh my God, Pulisic started this morning.
Yeah.
That's not what should be happening.
I mean, it's progress because he hasn't started in so long, but at the same time, I didn't watch the game, so I don't know how well he actually played.
And Tuchel has every right to not play him. Like, if he Tuchel's doing really well, and if he feels that's the right decision, do that 100%. I understand his decision, but I think for Pulisic to represent the United States and himself the best, he should leave and actually play, because especially as someone who, him and Weston McKennie kind of represent the whole country right now, if he's not playing, it looks pretty bad for us.
Yep.
So
I think he has to leave.
Yeah.
Unless Tuchel starts playing him more. But if not, I don't see any reason he should stay on the bench that whole time.
Exactly.
And then
final,
right before the questions,
brilliant.
We can't forget the questions.
We can't. Well, we never forget the questions.
Yeah. Hassani Dotson has made it to the Olympic qualifier roster,
which
for the USMNT.
It's kind of a tricky one because the Olympic qualifying roster is basically the under-23s.
Yeah.
It's not really the national team.
Which he has been on for a little bit.
But it's a little bit better than the under-23s because it actually matters. So it's like it's kind of a weird one.
You
Like
could
you can
win
win
a
a national trophy.
Yeah.
So it's good, but also he's been with the same group of guys before in the national team pool. And yeah, I think it's just really good to see him continuing his progress, and I can't wait to see how he does this season for the Loons.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll be watching from a great vantage point up in the press box.
Yes.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
That'll be one of the... If we get into the press box of United, I don't know the press media guy for United, but if you're listening right now, which you probably are,
yeah,
please, I'm going to email you in a few weeks, and you got to hook us up with those. Yeah, it's exciting that... And he's the only Loon, which is interesting because...
I think Gasper has been around.
Look, Gasper's kind of... It's interesting because Chase could be on that team, but he's not. I would choose to be on that team because I think his chances of being on the national team this summer for the World Cup qualifiers that they're going to play, you kind of have to pick and choose because it's either the Olympics this summer or the World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
But his chance of making the squad for the World Cup qualifiers, I think, are a lot lower. And I think just getting the time in the Olympics for Gasper would be good.
Yeah, and to have two Minnesota United players would be so cool to watch.
But you can't get everything you want. And hopefully we can exchange that, a little swap deal. Gasper not on the national team for a MLS Cup title. Mm-hmm. That would be fair, to say the least. Now we move over to the podcast questions, which we often end the podcast with. And we have a first one, which is effect on Sheffield losing Chris Wilder. Position, no difference, negative, positive. We already went through this. Like we said, we don't really know. He has been there forever, and it's really unlikely that he would have stayed any longer. And if he did, it would have dragged on. Unfortunately, even if you're a good manager, it would have dragged on. So that's a quick answer to that. The boys, the next question is, what are the boys' picks to win the Champions League and Europa League, and also a possible surprise team, the dark horse that you have? Mm-hmm. So my pick to win the Champions League is Porto, and my dark horse is Porto. Because I believe...
who else is left as a dark horse?
The only dark horse left.
Like, you can't really count Dortmund as a dark horse.
Sevilla was the only other one.
Yeah, and they got knocked out, so... Yeah.
But I believe, and I think that it's possible, but I also think they're a dark horse. Mm-hmm. That's a serious answer. I don't think that, if I had to put money on it, I would not put it on them. This time, it's so low, the odds, that it's just not a good idea.
You're just going to lose money.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to lose money. But I'm rooting for the boys. If I have to pick an actual team, I did see an Instagram post where it was last time that Messi and Ronaldo got eliminated from the Champions League.
Liverpool.
And the final was played in Istanbul, and Liverpool were outside the top six.
And they're on the exact... Right now, they're on the exact same points in, goal differential as they were that season.
Yeah, in the Premier League.
Weird.
It's like a repeat of when... Gerrard! But, yeah. I'm just going to do it. Liverpool.
No. That's just bad. I'm not, you should not get into betting. For Champions League, I'd say Bayern or Man City. Dark horse, obviously, it's just Porto as the last dark horse. And then Europa League, I'm looking at who's left here.
Well, I think the winner of Man United Milan will win it.
You don't think Arsenal?
No, I don't think Arsenal or Tottenham.
Really?
I think the winner of either Villarreal, Man United, or AC Milan. Or Ajax. That's actually quite a good shout.
Rangers?
What? Rangers? No, not Rangers.
Really?
They tied Slavia Prague.
I mean,
Slavia Prague's not bad, but still.
They're away from home.
Did you see? Is his name Brian Brobby?
Brobbery. No, I think it's
Brobbery. But he played really well for Ajax.
And then didn't he just get transferred or something?
He got I don't know, he's still at Ajax, but some money transfer loan thing happened, and nothing's changed. It's Brian Brobby.
One day ago, Brobby to join RP Leipzig on a free transfer from Ajax.
Well, there you go. follows him doing well at...
He is very young. He is almost our age.
Yeah, he's at 2002. But the Brabs is heading over to Leipzig. Actually, Leipzig could be building a good team over there. Look forward to seeing that. He's a good defender.
And they have Lookman, right?
Lookman... Wasn't he on Fulham?
Yeah, he's on loan, isn't he?
To Leipzig?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Things I don't know. You learn something new every day. But yeah, my pick is AC Milan. Raf Leao is going to pop
I think
off.
Man U.
It's one of the two. I'm telling you it's one of the two. But yeah, those are our picks for that. The next question is...
The post show.
The post show here, which is just... You can kind of log off right now if you don't want to hear some extra bits. But
thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, so thanks for watching this week. And we will see you next time. Peace. Now we're on to the post show, where we have one more question, where it is the director's best swim time in the 100 freestyle. Let's hear it.
So my best time is like a minute and 1 second.
Minute 1 second for those
incredible scenes. So we looked this up earlier. I think I might have closed out of it. I'm not quite sure. I think I can bring it back up here.
He is only 13
he's
seconds.
13 seconds off the world record. Let's see here. We were going through all of the stuff about him online. Okay. So 47.05 seconds is the swimming record for the 100-meter freestyle. So technically speaking,
I think
13...
you could easily shave off 13 seconds.
That's easy. That's not a hard...
You don't try in your
practice,
mates, right?
I've gotten a 59 before.
He's shaving off
12.
seconds by the minute.
Yeah.
Next podcast, you can be like, this practice I got 54.
Yeah.
Just inching up towards Olympic times by the minute. But yeah, director is, if you guys didn't know, an incredible swimmer who has recently had a hip surgery, non-contact injury, but he'll be expected at the Olympics, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
He did get an email about 5 years ago from the Olympics coach asking him to come down to Bradenton, Florida, where they have the Olympic training camp.
All right,
but
enough of the waffle.
That finishes this week's waffle, and we'll be back next week. I believe here it's really weird time.
We're just juggling.
Yeah, we're juggling many things right now, but yeah, we'll be back next week somewhere on the Zoom in the studio. You never know. It's kind of a guessing game, but yeah, please. Subscribe to Patreon if you haven't yet. Subscribe on Apple or Spotify if you listen without the video. And follow us on Instagram, everything else like normal. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
I need some spaghetti.